Arsenal Fan TV, lads, what happened tonight? I mean, that was poor.
I think that it was the sort of game where it was down to the players, because if they play well, first of all, they make a case of getting into the first team, and also they get chances to play again, because obviously the next few games. But they didn't really perform, especially the defence, because you can't really blame the youngsters. They're not experienced. They haven't but the defence was quite experienced. You got basically our defence from the beginning of last season, Debuchy, Gibbs, and they didn't really perform tonight, so they're not really making a case for playing in the first team. And now that we lost, they're not really going to play many games this season, so it's their fault, and it's not affecting the club. It's not affecting us, because I don't think we really care about the Capital One Cup that much, because we've won the FA Cup 2 years in a row. Now we're pushing for the league, so it's their fault, it's their problem.
Players played, and some of those senior players he's talking about, they did play like they didn't care. I mean, the first goal, I never see no blocks go in, everyone just standing up like that. I mean, what's going on?
I thought the real problem with the experienced players, and in particular, I thought Flamini was just abysmal. He can't really pass. He's too slow to defend. He doesn't have the legs to run. I don't know what he's doing in the team. It's negative. And negative really is how I describe this performance. Every time we just pass the ball sideways. Another thing Flamini appeared just to pass. I don't know how many forward passes he did. Maybe that one chip to Mertesacker. It's all reminded me back of the, like 3 or 4 years ago when we won nothing. And, just slow, sideways, nothing exciting. I never really thought we were going to score. It was just sort of, I can't even complain. It wasn't like we were robbed. We deserved to lose. We were abysmal.
Abysmal is what he says, and nobody can really argue with that. You're saying a blessing in disguise. You think it's good that we're out?
Well, I think it doesn't really matter, because it's obviously bad for the players who played today, the players who don't get into the first team, that we're out. But for us, maybe it is a good thing, because the squad is so wafer thin, as someone described before, that having extra games doesn't really help. And obviously this season we're trying to push for the league. Maybe it will help. I really do hope. I hope that some of our our first team players haven't really been getting injured this season. It's our bench players. I hope they get back, because right now we're going to have to start recalling some players like Gnabry or something like that, because we're really wafer thin on players.
If any of those senior players are out, let's say Coquelin, do you see somebody there that can replace him?
I mean, the only one who I thought came out of that game looking at least mildly respectable was Bielik. When he came on, we took control of the game at least, and it looked like we could have maybe scored. The one that really scared me was Debuchy. I thought, what's happened to him? He's a France international. He started in 2014 for France, and he's just been terrible. Dynamo Zagreb, he was poor. Against Spurs, he was poor. I don't know what's happened, and if Bellerin gets injured, you got to be thinking who's playing on the right, since I don't look forward to Debuchy playing.
I say one more thing. You said, if someone like Coquelin gets injured. Well, if Coquelin gets injured, we're not going to win the league, because we don't have the depth in our squad. I mean, Firmino, Arteta can't really do the job. So we better hope that those type of players, like Ozil, Alexis, Coquelin, don't get injured, because otherwise we can kiss the league goodbye, really.
They looked more like a Premier team than we did, didn't they? And they're moving the ball about better than us.